Hi everyone and welcome to Linger Longer with Books. My name's Catherine and in this week's video I'm going to take you along with me to a second-hand book sale in Hayling Island. So another car view for you, but I have made it to Hayling Island. It's around 20 miles from where I live. So I'm not quite sure how long that's just taken me without looking at the clock. But it is a second-hand book sale that takes place every half-term holiday here in the UK. I think that's every 3 or 4 months. I think the last one I went to was in October with my twin sister Rachel. I'll try to link it below if you want to watch that one. But obviously it's now February. It's been running, I think, from midweek this week, but obviously working full-time. Today is the only day that I could come along. It's running from 9 to 12 today, and then it'll obviously be back next half term, but it's raising money for local scouts, if you know what scouts are. It's a kind of community organisation, quite famous and quite prolific in a positive way in the UK. It just engages young people in lots and lots of different sort of outdoor and leadership pursuits, really. But anyway, I am going to go in. I've got my list with me on my phone that I had prepped for my trip to 66 books last time. So I'm going to use that and see what secondhand titles I can pick up in terms of fiction and non-fiction, and also keep my eye out for books for my sister Rachel. So I'm just going to go in and see what they've got. It's now the day after I went to Hayling Island book thrifting, so I thought that I would share with you all the books that I bought. Okay, I am going to go through them just in the order that I've got them stacked up here, which is probably paperbacks down to bigger hardbacks. So first up we have Ramses, The Temple of a Million Years by Christian Jacques. This is the final book that I was hunting for in the Ramses series by Christian Jacques. I have various other ones, hopefully you can see on my shelf behind me, which now won't fit in. I'll just put them down there. There are 5 stories in this series. The first one we are reading as part of our book club, the Never Ending Story book club that I run once a month. It's the final Saturday. If you would be interested in joining, I shall try and pop the link which is on Facebook in the comments below. But anyway, I was really chuffed to find this. They did have quite a few other Christian Jacques there, but this was the kind of the size format that I was looking for, and it's in pretty good condition. It's a little bit faded on the side, but it's perfectly readable, and who knows, I might be able to swap this out if I find it in other bookshops. So I've just popped the other Christian Jacques back on the shelf. The second book I picked up, which is paperback, is The Death Sculptor by Chris Carter. It's in brilliant condition. It's barely got a crack on the spine. I think it's got 1 crack. Chris Carter is an author that I've seen speak at Capital Crime Festival in London, and his books have always intrigued me. He's a really charismatic kind of speaker, and the way he talks about his novels just sound really gripping. He doesn't really sort of have any reservations with kind of his plot structures or the contents of his story. So what's this one about? It says, a student nurse has the shock of her life when she discovers her patient, prosecutor Derek Nicholson, brutally murdered in his bed. The act seems senseless. Nicholson was terminally ill with only weeks to live. But what shocks Detective Robert Hunter of the LA Robbery Homicide Division is the calling card the killer left behind. I won't read any more, but that sounds incredibly gripping. I'm looking forward to reading one of Chris's novels. I think he's published quite a few by now. Okay, he's got The Crucifix Killer, The Executioner and The Night Stalker, all quite, like I was saying, quite dark, quite sinister, no bars held on it. So there's that one. Next up is a completely different genre. Given that I have just read Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, I picked up Infamous by Lex Croucher. This was the first book that I saw, and it's in immaculate condition. It doesn't even look like this copy has been read. This is obviously a really playful romance read. It says Book Smart meets Bridgerton. And it's about 22-year-old aspiring writer Eddie Miller and her best friend Rose have always done everything together, climbing trees, throwing grapes at boys, sneaking bottles of wine, practicing kissing. Now that they're out in society, Rose is suddenly talking about marriage and Eddie is horrified. So yeah, really, really curious to get to that one at some point. Like I said, that's going to be quite a light-hearted read. But yeah, I was really chuffed to spot this one very, very early on when I was looking around the room. If you can hear the pitter-patter of little cat paws, that would be Shelby. He's having a funny 5 minutes, or zoomies, or whatever you are familiar with if you have a cat or perhaps a dog, but he's just rummaging around behind the sofa at the moment, so who knows what's on his mind currently. But if you hear it, that's what it is. It's not a big rat or anything. So next up, again, bouncing back to Christian Jacques. This is a book that I didn't know existed, and I picked it up because I thought I would regret it if I didn't. It's called Magic and Mystery in Ancient Egypt by Christian. And this is basically Christian, author of best-selling sequence of novels, Ramses believes that the civilization of ancient Egypt can only be fully understood in the context of the living tradition, as he found when he accepted the hospitality of a family of Egyptian snake charmers. From his knowledge of the ancient text, it was clear that this family was still following rules dating back to the dawn of time. In this enthralling book, he takes us on a journey into a secret world where magic was an exact science, its mysteries closely guarded by the temple priests, and then so on. So I just thought this would be really, really interesting. Like I said, didn't know it existed. It's in really, really good condition. It's a little bit kind of faded, but I'm not even sure when this was first published. It feels like a little time ago. It's a really strange size of paperback. I don't know if that's called a particular size, but anyway, I'm looking forward to getting to this one. It'll go on my non-fiction shelves for now, but there we go. There's that one. I think it's a little bit mucky on the cover, so I'm going to give some of these ones that are in a little bit less great condition a sort of a proper clean before they go on my bookshelves too. And just to not disappoint any of you in terms of me bouncing around between genres, I picked up the next two because I know that it's been a recent TV series. So it is Jilly Cooper Rivals, and it's a great little sort of old hardback from original, I think from original publication days, which would have been what, in the 90s? Let's have a look. Oh, 88. Okay, so slightly before I was thinking. So yeah, really good condition. I haven't yet watched the TV series. Alongside Rivals, this is the first book, I understand. Then there's second, and then I also picked up Polo, which I don't think's even been read, if I'm honest. So I think this is number 1 and this is number 3. Obviously, they are of a certain genre. And Jilly's on the back of this one with one of her dogs, it looks like. So I just thought they would be quite, well, I thought I would regret them if I didn't pick these two up. It's just a shame that they didn't have the middle book, but I should look out for it. Let me know in the comments below what that one's called. I can't quite think of it off the top of my head. But anyway, there are these. I think this is obviously quite raunchy books. They were very, very popular when they were published. Okay, there's one called Riders. Riders and Rivals, and then I think it's Polo. So anyway, happy to get hold of those. Don't know quite where they'll fit on my bookshelves, but bought them unashamedly. So there you go. There's those. I am now ducking into non-fiction and a couple of like larger hardbacks. I saw this quite towards the end of me looking around all the different boxes of books, but it is a portrait of Jane Austen by David Cecil. This year there is a big 250th anniversary about Jane Austen's life. It's being sort of heavily publicised. I live in Hampshire, the county in which Jane lived and died, and I just thought this would be a really nice addition to my non-fiction shelves. I don't think I have a book all about just Jane Austen, but anyway, I could be wrong on that. So I picked this up. It's obviously from a few, when was this first published? 1978. Does that mean this one was? Can't see, it's not immediately obvious, but anyway, when I got it home, I didn't even spot it in the shop, but it's got a sort of a personal dedication in the front, and I think it says David Hughes, July 2005, Alfriston on holiday. So some sort of lovely sentiment and kind of gesture there, someone gifting it to another. But this really just charts the life of Jane, and let me see in the contents kind of what it's covering. It's obviously her family, early years, Steventon, Bath, Southampton. I live very, very close to Southampton. And then it's got beautiful kind of illustrations through it, some in colour, some not. Let me just find one in colour for you. Oh, look at that double page. That's beautiful, isn't it? But anyway, I thought that yeah, it would be a real miss if I didn't snap this up when I saw it. So yeah, it's a little bit discoloured, it's a little bit sort of tired, but on the as if you take the book sleeve off, it's a beautiful edition. So there we go. It will be a book that I can kind of flick through. These are not the sort of books that I read cover to cover. I will probably head to kind of whatever corresponding chapter is of interest, and just learn more about Jane. I think Jane is obviously an author, a novelist, a writer that we probably all think we know better than we do, just because the amount of writing out there about her, the amount of kind of TV adaptations of her stories. But actually, I don't think it'll ever hurt just to actually delve into factual accounts and interesting accounts of her life. I've been lucky enough to go to Chawton, her house, which is at the top of Hampshire. It's beautiful. If you get a chance to visit, if you're in England, I would absolutely recommend going. It's a beautiful sort of chocolate box village, very quaint. You can imagine Jane obviously living there when she did. But anyway, this was, yeah, a really good find, I felt. Then last but not least is Nadiya's Fast Favourites. And this is, for those of you who don't know, in England, Nadiya is a really, really well admired and respected chef, and I just saw this in the cookery section as I was leaving. It's in immaculate condition, and I just thought, oh, it'd be rude not to pick this up. I should have said that all of these books were £1 each, whether it's hardback or paperback. So I spent a total of £8 there, and some of these recipes going back to this particular book look absolutely incredible, and ones that I will be trying. I really fancy making squash slabs. They look incredible. Also this, love cherry, love cinnamon. This looks really delicious, and there is one that I really want to get to. I've got friends coming over for lunch next Sunday, so I think the one that I'm going to make, if I don't make a mess of it and I just need to follow the recipe, it's not coming to me right now. Let me have a look. Where is it? It's here somewhere. I saw it. I'm not making it up, honestly. Where is it? Oh dear, it's gone. Oh, okay, here we go. It's tarragon chicken. It's a really nice chicken with broccoli and tagliatelle, I think that is. Yeah, so that looks delicious. Hopefully I will be making that next weekend. But anyway, there you go. These are the these are the 8 books that I bought. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you read any of these? Do any sort of pique your fancy? Again, if you have been watching the video this far, a big thank you. I'm going to put these down because they're quite heavy. A big thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you found it sort of interesting and enjoyable. If you have got this far, just let me know that you're out there, either by leaving a comment, as I said, or by popping in, I think, a high heel emoji in honour of Jilly Cooper. Let me know if you've read these before or any of the ones I have chatted about. But yeah, I'm really chuffed. I will be going back to the Hayling Island book sale. It's on every half term, like I mentioned earlier. And I've got a real mixture there, haven't I? Fiction, non-fiction, paperback, hardback, just the way that I like to read. So I hope you're all doing well out there. I hope you have got some time set aside in the week coming up for some reading, whether that's paperback, hardback, audiobook, however you kind of absorb your stories. But anyway, I hope you're all doing really well, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now. Thank you.